Greetings everyone, and Great here for another H-Powers 3 replay. So on the north side as the blue Chinese, we have Alistairpeter, and he has a monkey, Duber. On top left side as the red French, we have Carp, underscore. Go before and after. Looks like red does find some goats. There's some goats in the map. Blue will claim a goat. We'll get the other goat. Duber is in fast approach. The scout could shank Duber. And blue will claim both those goats. Very good. And nice thing about getting the livestock as Chinese, their villages can be used to fatten up the livestock. So buying the livestock, it can be very useful. Looks like the Apache Scout and Duber now engaging. Duber has 6 damage, while the Apache Scout has 5 damage, but more health. Let's see, 20% more damage, while having 25% less health. I think the Scout will probably win that fight then. But it looks like the Apache Scout had less health. Maybe it was overall losing the fight. Can't really say exactly for sure. And it looks like some of these snow leopards were going down, and will steal the snow leopards' stockpile of seeds. They're going to start a farm and take a steady life. You monster. When it comes to decks, looks like the Chinese player has selected a deck called Disciple Rush, so it's going to see some Disciple play. We got Tea Export, we got Northern Refugees, we got Year of the Tiger, which give 2 disciples. For each 2 disciples you lost, you get a pet white tiger, a Wagner, and Furier, Wood, Coin, Chuko News, Mandarin Duck Squad, Wing Pikemen, Step Riders, Flamethrower Castle Rickshaw, Diplomatic Intrigue, Fire Rat and Shield, so he has access to 2 flamethrowers in this age. Wood Coin, Arquebus, Shangdo Swordsman, Turtle Army Combat, Iron Flails, Buying Army, Iron Cap Prince's Army, delivers 12 Shangdo Swordsmen and 2 flamethrowers. Intervention, Iron Manchurian Cavalry Archers, and Infinite Flying Crows. The French is eyeing for no nats, so guess no natives deck, which involves couriers, Team French Auxiliary Combat, Pioneers, Economic Theory, Land Grab, Akin Regime, which are natives, couriers, Wood Coin, Crossbow, Native Warrior Combat, so I'm not sure what the no nats mean. Wilderness Warfare, Advanced Arsenal, Spice Trade, Coin, King Senglei's Rifleman, Cavalry Combat, Falconets, Fort, Royal Mint, Refrigeration, Couriers, Heavy Cannon, Factory, and Factory. Both players have ship available. Chinese player has gotten Tea Exports. Anything else is something you don't really go for immediately. Furiers is something you could go early on, which will provide natural food sources, provide 20% faster gathering and yield. 15% from hunted animals, 20% from berry bushes, and increase the yield by 8% by hunted animals, 10% for berry bushes, and also affects cherry orchard, blueberries, and that stuff. Is aging up with the White Pagoda, which I believe is the Disciple landmark. Upon completion, gives increases stats of the Shaolin Master and Disciples, and the latter unit train limit. Give him 4 disciples. And his opponent has aged up. I'm not sure what it was. He has now the Royal Embassy now viewed, going for some Royal Musketeers. And oh, we got a Proxy Consulate, Proxy Monastery, and a Proxy Village. I didn't realize that until now. Hopefully the Royal Musketeers have decent siege damage. I don't know what they been eyed to age up with. Maybe found something involving these wood shipments, perhaps. We got Duber here. Duber can start beating up the Apache Scout or engage Duber. You gotta have a good number of Royal Musketeers. They do have a pistol charge attack, giving a pretty nice first strike attack, double damage first attack. You have the disciples there shipped on in. One of the disciples did take a nice shot there. Disciples do have 14 damage and 112 health, small range assist. He's going for more Royal Musketeers. The Royal Musketeers don't have... They have 19 siege damage, just slightly worse than regular Musketeers. And we do have some more Duber monks. Monks are beating up Duber. They do get some critical strikes there. Got these Royal Musketeers. They do get a volley there onto the Explorer or the Shaolin Master. And now do have a shipment of Chuko News brought on in. Yep, just times 8 Chuko News. So he does have a decent amount of Disciples and of the Chuko News. Disciples are classified neither heavy nor light, if I remember correctly. Actually, they're classified as shock. So the Royal Musketeers will do more damage against them in melee. Chuko News, however, are Archaic Archer, light infantry, so they will do bonus damage versus heavy. And they do a ×2, so they have skirmisher multipliers, not regular crossbow multipliers. So those will be pursued. Red needs to start getting some reinforcements. Has a round of Royal Musketeers. He does have a build limit to them of what, 15? So you will have a small elite corps. It's now bringing a shipment of crossbows, which will not be useful against the Disciples since they're classified as shock. And additionally, Chuko News are light, so that'll be neutrally effective. We do got now a round of Step Riders. It looks like increasingly the crossbows there are not great. And he has no other military shipment. He went for that because he needed something, and it's not a great shipment in this one time. But has also gone for a round of Repentant Monks, which are classified as a light infantry unit. They do cost... They have 3 population. They are not classified as outlaw, but they're basically outlaw. If this makes any sort of sense. So the Repentant Monks will be useful versus those... What's it called? Royal Musketeers. Going for more Royal Musketeers now. And now do got the French Expeditionary Company. So, oh yeah, he has allied the French to engage the French, and we'll get a round of Grenadiers, which will be very useful against his opponent's infantry. And the militia are down to 1 health, so the grenades can quickly clear out the militia. They just have to scratch them, and then they're down. Howdy. Step Riders do have good siege damage. I am not interested in any artwork. Market taking some damage. As I mentioned before, Step Riders do have 25 siege damage. Grenadiers do have 45. Disciples have 6. Chuko News have 3. And I don't even think that's 3 times 3. It could be just literally just 3. And now we do have the Mandarin Duck Squad getting more Chuko News and a flamethrower. So right now, red or blue will have good amount of anti-heavy as well as a good anti-AoE, or just provided some good AoE. He could go for a shipment of Rattan Shields. That's more shock infantry. Sorry, just had to clear out the spam bot. We do now have the trading post going down. Trading post and Explorer goes down. Red is sort of just back into a corner. We do now have the 5 precepts research now being pulled on out. More couriers and Hussars being pulled on out. Hussars will probably be generally pretty good. They won't be countered by anything, and they will have a number of units they can counter. But yeah, more Hussars are definitely a good idea. The shock infantry and Step Riders are neutrally effective against each other, but against Chuko News, they will do bonus damage. Or take less damage. Honestly, deal bonus damage. But for more couriers, more Hussars now being pulled on the field. The French has 22 villagers, his opponent has 24, and he's getting more shipments. His opponent's getting more shipments in. Additionally, French villagers are better. We got some repentant horsemen. More outlaws. Flamethrower engaging. Hussars pushing forward. Repentant monks are an archer unit. Got now some repentant horsemen, which are a light cavalry, which means they will do bonus damage versus the hussars. A small number of them is exactly what it needs. Villagers not charging way forward. The French villagers do offer good damage, or okay damage against whether it be at range or melee. He's forced bringing the militia. Chupanos soft trading way. Got the repentant horsemen still firing away. They do less damage versus villagers, so they can be relatively ignored. Hussars clean up this force. And it looks like now let's bring in the Shaolin Master. Going for a round of plain pikemen. More repentant horsemen. Hussars now push way forward. The French player is going all in. He has 28 villagers, which is decent. He's out of resources pretty much. So the longer the game goes on, the better probably the Chinese player, but he's starting to lose some of his production. Bring out the sentries. They have a bunch of pointy sticks. Really just sharpen bamboo to engage cavalry. Repentant horsemen there getting overran by the hussars. Its melee attack is also... it doesn't look like it has a melee attack. But you can just pick off some of those hussars. It does get a shipment of plain pikemen. Very good. They do offer 7 damage. So the French villagers are actually far superior to them. So if they can engage the melee, they will do just fine. He does have some Royal Musketeers and crossbows in the front line. Frenchman's at 27 villagers. He is putting more villagers. His opponent is in relation with the French, who wants to be with the French, and now going for more grenadiers and repentant monks. Going for the blanket filters, and bringing the Rising Shields, which are shock infantry. Additionally, he can deploy them from villages. They may get a nice ambush. There's the Grenadiers. Grenadiers do 50% less damage versus villagers, and the French villagers are particularly hardy. They have possible 100% health. Sea Sam's not good. Some hussars now pulled on out. Here comes the repentant monks. He does have another round of disciples. He has a good, decent force there. Grenades do connect, but it'll have a hard time versus the French villagers. And here comes the shock infantry. There's the Rising Shields. They do have 16 damage and good movement speed. And now we have the British allies. Perfect allies to deal with the French. Royal Musketeer taking some damage. They'll deny the Royal Musketeer production, which will be decent for the Rising Shields since they are shock infantry, as well as the disciples shock infantry. But monks, of course, are light infantry, so they will take bonus damage from them. And Young Guard are, well, just AoE specialists, so they're just good versus infantry in general. Another shipment being brought in the Chinese, bring in the castle and flamethrower. More repentant monks for trade 4. They have only 13 sea champs, not great. Rising Shields have 10, which is not great. Grenadiers have 45, which is good. Hussars push forward, receiving a bit of damage from various sources there. Did have the repentant monks engage the Royal Musketeers, but it looks like they're getting overrun by the Hussars. Some disciples are punching the Hussars. Going for more repentant horsemen to engage the Hussars. Very nice. And we got more Hussars and Royal Musketeers not being pulled on out. The French villagers are taking some hits, trying to focus down the production. Town center did have villagers garrison. Did spot the flamethrower. Does do fine times 4 damage versus structures, which base damage of 5 is not too particularly good, but it will slowly whittle down everything. And honestly, 20% less damage versus cavalry is not too big damage debuff. This goes from 5 to 4 damage. Shock infantry does a little bit less effective. Going for wilderness warfare. Town started taking some fire, literally. More repentant horsemen. His opponent's going for more villagers. He does have another round of royal musketeers being pulled up by this royal embassy. And his villagers trying to torch down the castle. French explorer goes down. Villagers do pop on out. They're going to try to punch the flamethrower. Looks like not. Grenadiers may just want to keep on throwing grenades in town center. They have very little damage they can do versus villagers, and the French villagers are super tanky right now. Does kill out some of the grenadiers. He does take up the town center there. Disciples getting some good damage there. Right now, the French villagers are super tanky and having trouble dealing with them. I suppose flamethrowers are good against villagers. After all, napalm doesn't really care what they sticks to. And it has no damage negative multiplier against villagers, so it'll start whittling down the French villagers. But it does explode. French is down to 23 villagers, the Chinese up to 44, maintaining good village production, very nice. Bringing some Mongolian armies. He doesn't have Mongolian Scourge research to do bonus damage versus villagers, but a few times you really want to do that if the French guy for super tanky villagers. There are some Step Riders, as well as some Keshiks. Keshiks won't do much damage versus villagers. More Royal Musketeers. And the Royal Musketeers will rip apart the Keshiks, no problem. And they will, of course, take out those disciples, no problem as well. The French players being stubborn. Just as stubborn as villagers, they're slowly being whittled down. But a good number of them are quite wounded. Maybe one of the few times you want to go for a priest. He does have a church here. Maybe a priest would be helpful healing up these villagers. Oh wait, there's a spy. I was not expecting a spy. He maybe... See, they do bonus damage versus heroes, of course, and mercenaries. But the disciples I don't think are classified as either. And he's been deploying on outlaws, not mercenaries. So they won't be receiving bonus damage as well. So the spy is going to be particularly effective. Dependent monk. Yep, says range infantry, infantry, land military, and light infantry, not mercenary. So yeah, the spy overall is a bad choice. Unless he really wants to Shaolin Master down. Speaking of which, you can get out his 12 tigers. Got a number around of redcoats there. A perfect item to deal with the French. That spy does get socked in the face. The Chinese players clean up this gold now. Redcoats do have 14 range damage at twice attack speed, so they will probably do higher DPS versus the French villagers, especially when they have 40 range resist. Another round of redcoats there. More repentant monks push way forward, taking out the Royal Musketeers. Opponent's still going for more of the Royal Musketeers. He's very low in resources. Chinese player is still expanding his villagers. And the French villagers are starting to go down, taking quite a bit of damage. And Red finally casting GG. And that is the end of the replay. This is Grade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.